Mike?
Hey, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Hi, John.
Good to see you back out and about.
Yeah, well, yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Just had the other guy's a dealer at the Harrah's. He was talking about the repercussions of Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And he says that they're firing people over at Harrah's if you even talk about it.
Yeah, we were going back and forth talking about how they confiscated all the devices, phones, and handed them all back. They're all white. Not just the stuff from that incident, but the whole thing was white.
I was watching Tucker Carlson last night, and and they had called up the Vegas sheriffs and all because they wanted to find out because this guy Jesus, what was his name, or Jesus, right? Campos wasn't registered as a security guard, and so they wanted to find out what was his status, what is this, how do you get to be a security guard in a Vegas casino, what is the legal process, what is the licensing process, because he's not registered in anywhere as being a security guard. And they hung up on Tucker Carlson. They yelled at him and Tucker hung up on him.
Yeah, shut up, be quiet.
This is Tucker Carlson hanging up on.
None of your business, bud.
I mean, this is really brazen. They're really falling apart. Do you think this Uranium One deal, what do you think? What's your thoughts on this? You think it's really got legs?
No.
No?
I think it's just a scary...
It's pretty obvious, man. People are going, what? I mean, they got all that. What about this guy the 4-year undercover guy, FBI, they had the gag order on for the past 5 years? They lifted the gag order. He's going to be testifying before Congress Wednesday. The guy's got 4 years of tapes, documentation, linking the Russians and Clinton money, the foundation together. He's got just reams of 4 years undercover documentation.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to do anything. It might fuck up the Clintons, but it's not going to, you know what I'm saying? You're talking like what your sign says there, like the deep state, like it's going to expose anything? No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not gonna,
the Clintons are pretty big.
They're already being thrown to the dogs.
Yeah, well, they are, but they're still a
part of it.
They're still part of it, and they have been a pretty big part of it. Yeah, they're expendable now. But just that whole exposure, I mean, people are going to look at this and go, wait, they lied to us for an entire year about this. They just completely put it, threw bullshit at us. I mean, that's going to turn a lot of people on to what's really going on. Don't you wouldn't think? Or do you think the sheep will just remain sheep?
What I'm saying is it's a compartmentalized thing to focus on that's not going to lead to anything deeper than that. It's not going to lead to the Black Eagle Trust. It's not going to lead to the downfall of communism. It's not going to lead to the people that actually run shit, the Dick Cheneys of the world. Those people, the Donald Rumsfelds, those guys that actually are working with the Rothschilds to make a conglomerate of a new world order.
Towards that, isn't it? Wouldn't you say? I mean, what if she blows the whistle? Well, she goes, screw you. You got to throw me over. I throw you over.
Yeah, and then her car hits a fucking tree. I mean, it's not. What I'm saying is, it's at a point now where there's no. The only thing that's going to change anything is an absolute revolution, which means that people focus on the idea that even like beyond the founding fathers, the idea that you cannot separate. We have to have a state, but we don't have one in this country. We have a nation. We have a bunch of laws, but it's a plutocracy. And in order to fight that, it's not going to be through exposure. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not exposure is not going to. When the truth comes to light, it's when people don't get bread and water. And then it's like, well, what does this really mean? It's things like judicial review, to be able to overturn a law for being unconstitutional. Well, I thought those powers were supposed to be separate. The legislative makes the law, the judicial just rules on whether or not what they said, whether or not you did what the legislature said. But that's not the way it is in this country. That's like the first clue that we should have. And we're not living it. All that stuff is bullshit. It's all run by the same people. So when you have something like this, or it doesn't matter what it is, the election of Trump. The election of Trump should have told everybody, hey, there are people in this country that are willing to stand up and say, look, we want to remain individuals, we want to do all this stuff. But they are just the other half of they're why we are what we are. The people. You know what I'm saying? The people are just a construct. But it's the idea. I mean, this guy spent 10 years on television telling everybody he was the boss, and you're fired. It's the authoritarian principle.
Yeah.
They knew that was coming. Trump, they're just using Trump. They can use any. What I'm saying is,
he's fitting the bill.
When you're talking about the deep state, in order to overthrow that, you're talking about something that's beyond the ability to overthrow now. It's already beyond that ability. The reason why DARPA let loose the internet, now they can compartmentalize every single revolution, every single thing that happens, and absorb it into their big jelly mold of bullshit. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
The only way to break through that is a paradigm of not just philosophy, but it's the paradigm of knowing the difference between where your authority comes from. So if you don't give your authority to something beyond, like I can stand here and tell you that I know the truth or whatever, and you can stand there and tell you that you know what's true. But until we give that authority to something higher than man, we're just going to be sitting here arguing.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Nothing's really going to change. Now you can have revolutions, huge revolutions that kill hundreds of millions of people. But the only way things are going to change is if people understand that where their real authority comes from. I don't know where you came from. You don't know where I came from. We don't know what any of this shit is. Yeah. And until we recognize that, there is no... That's the plan, man.
Yeah, but I don't see the plan. I don't see the plan and how well constructed. I mean, working. It's doomed to failure.
What I'm saying
itself.
Yeah, There's a book. It tells you all about it. It's called the Bible.
Yeah.
And if you read it, it tells you exactly what happens. Yeah. What happens when you put your authority in man and you don't put your authority in God. There are things that seem right, but they're not. They're the way to death. That's why Patrick Henry could stand up and say, give me liberty, give me death. Why? Because he